Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Katrina, calligrapher and owner of KLR Calligraphy, and my mission is just to bring joy to your world through the art of calligraphy. Today, we're going to be learning how to use the basic strokes of calligraphy, but in color. So sometimes it's a little easier to see how the basic strokes fit together when you can really see them piece by piece. So we're going to be using color to do that today. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to go from this to this in no time. All right, let's get into it. For this tutorial, I'll be using the Rhodia dot pad. I really like the Rhodia brand. I like that the paper is super smooth, so it's not going to damage the bristles on your brush pen. I also like that the dots give you a nice guideline to follow. This also comes in grid form, but I like the dot paper as well. They both work wonderfully. So we'll be using this. We'll also be using the Zebra brush pen. This is a really good beginner friendly brush pen. You just need any brush pen that has a flexible tip like this. And obviously this is calligraphy in color. So I'll be using these beautiful, colorful brush pens. These pens also have a brush tip. These are Pentel sign pens. So similar to the tip on the Zebra pen, it is going to be a flexible nib that'll give you those thin and thick strokes. We'll start by doing a review of the basic strokes, and I have a whole video that goes over these in more detail. I'll link it below for you to review. So we have the upstroke, our downstroke, our overturn, underturn, compound curve, ascending loop, descending loop, our oval, and our comma dot. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strokes that generally make up all of the letters of the alphabet and all of the letters or all of the words that we're going to be learning today. All right, so let's assign some colors to our basic strokes here. So for this video, every time I do an upstroke, that is going to be yellow. We'll assign that to be yellow. I'll rewrite them all using these colors so you can clearly see how they look. All right, so we've got them all color coded here. So let's get into some of the words. All right, so I'm gonna leave the key here so that we know all of the colors for all of the strokes while we're doing them. And we're gonna start with the word high. I'm gonna start with an upstroke in yellow. I'm gonna connect that to an ascending loop. So I'm going to start here, light pressure up, heavy pressure coming down at the angle. Then I'm going to do a compound curve. So I'm going to do light pressure up, heavy pressure down at an angle, light pressure up. Stop right about there because I'm going to connect that to the next stroke, which is going to be the underturn, and that is in green. So I'm going to start heavy pressure and then come up, connect my dot, and I have the word high. So you see it in color, and here is how it would look if you wrote it all in black. So you can clearly see there are 4 strokes that make up this letter. All right, the next word we're going to do is the word go, just G-O. So I'm going to start with an upstroke. Next, I'm going to do an oval in orange. So remember, when you're connecting ovals to strokes, you want to kind of guesstimate how much space you need in between. So start light, heavy pressure down, light pressure coming back up. I'm going to connect that to my descending loop here, or my descender. And then I'm going to make another upstroke. And I'm going to connect that to another oval. And I'm going to end it with a little comma dot here. Okay. So if I were to write that in all black, so you can see the consistency, I have my upstroke, my oval, descending loop, upstroke, another oval, and then the exit stroke. I'm sorry, the comma dot. All right, next we're going to do the word may. To start the M, I'm going to start with an overturn. I'm going to use another overturn. And then I'm going to connect that to a compound curve here. For the A, I'm going to make an oval. And I'm going to connect that to an underturn. That. And then to make the Y, I'm going to connect another underturn. And a descending loop. And an upstroke, which also can be called an exit stroke in this situation. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strokes there. Let's write it in all black to see what it looks like. All right, I'm going to have the word may. All right, so we'll do one more word, one of my favorite words. We're going to do the word joy. Like everything else, we're going to start with our upstroke or entry stroke. We're going to connect that to the descending loop. Then I'm going to make another upstroke. I'm going to connect the upstroke to the oval to make the O. I'm going to then use the comma dot so that I can connect that to my Y. For the Y, I'm going to use the underturn and the descending loop. Descending loop here. And one more upstroke. And in this case, it's going to be an exit stroke. And don't forget the dot on the J. I'll just make that black. All right, so let's write that in all black so we can see how it looks all put together. All right. And that's calligraphy in color. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you learned something or that it was entertaining in some way. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and don't forget that all the supplies that I used today will be linked below in the description. Until next time, enjoy the journey, and I'll see you soon. Bye.